Hello everybody, welcome to my review of Spider-Man No Way Home. Obviously it is a sequel to the movie, the 2009 Spider-Man Far From Home. We're going to do the typical thing, break down the plot synopsis as best as I can remember it, just got back from watching it, talk about any major themes, and talk about some similar movies at the end, as well as giving it an overall grade. But we start off with Tom Holland, the first Peter Parker. This one we end up getting 3 different Peter Parkers. But basically starts off, and the first scene might be them talking. He's sitting around with his friend Ned and his girlfriend MJ. I forget, she doesn't stand for Mary Jane, but like Maria Jones maybe, something like that. But they're all trying to get into MIT. They're talking about getting into MIT. They're all applying. Just, high school, end of high school, going to apply to college. And then right at the beginning, they figure out who Peter Parker is. They figure out it's just this high school kid, and it's like kind of the opening scenes. But there's news people everywhere. The military comes to see him at his house. You have your typical Aunt May, who's younger than the original. Like, she's, 35 to 40. She's dating some dude named Happy. Peter Parker walks in right as they're kind of breaking up, and the whole newscast, news station, everybody's out there because they just figured out who Peter Parker is, and they blame him for killing Mysterio or something. Again, I've watched a good amount of superhero movies. They're not really my go-to. I've liked some of them, but I think it was Mysterio. But half the town's like, oh, he killed Mysterio, Peter Parker's the bad guy. You have your news anchor from the Daily Bugle, and I think it's also called the Daily something else as well. But you have the news anchor again trying to, and kind of in line with the original Spider-Man's, trying to catch Peter Parker, Spider-Man doing bad things. But they're all trying to get into MIT, and they apply. They're all trying to go to school together, and they get denied from all of their backup schools, and then they get denied from MIT. One of their friends, I forget the other guy, but I don't forget his name. I'm not going to be able to recognize him off of here. But he does get into MIT. And so he's going to like the initial mixer thing, introduction to meet your other classmates, and to, the Ned and MJ, Peter thinks they did not get into MIT because of the association with Spider-Man. Again, he's getting some bad publicity right now. So, I think originally he goes to Doctor Strange. Again, the other one, the one in 2019 had more of the Iron Man, and this one has Doctor Strange and Peter Parker really mostly. He goes to Doctor Strange, is basically like, hey man, can you guys cast a spell to make everyone forget that he's Peter Parker, or that he's Spider-Man. And Doctor Strange's like, yeah, I can do that. Starts casting this spell, but then he's like, oh wait, I want my girlfriend to remember me, I want Ned to remember me, I want Aunt May to remember me. So during the casting of the spell, Peter's like having Doctor Strange add all of these new things, and it messes up the spell. But at the same time, that kind of happens, and then Ned also says, or the other friend that actually got into MIT was like, if you come to this party, you can try to reason with the admissions counselor or whatever to maybe get in, or maybe get your friends in. So he goes, they try to do the spell to forget it, and then they tussle back and forth. But what happens is the spell doesn't work, and Doctor Strange is able to box it up in this little cube square thing, and basically says, this is going to undo everything. But at the same kind of time, he's going to try to talk to the admissions counselor to try to get into MIT, or at least get his friends there from being associated with him. He's trying to chase down the admissions counselor who left the party, and she's on the highway. And then, right when that happens, you get introduced, the spell, the cracking of the spell broke open the universe, and now, again, anyone who's ever heard of Peter Parker in any universe, again, this big Marvel stuck on the multiverse universe. I'll go over the physics, but that stuff always throws me, it's not consistent. But go on the bridge trying to talk to the admissions counselor, and you get both the Green Goblin. Well, first you get Octavius, the Dr. Octo from the original Spider-Mans, which I really like that one. But there's the big tentacle dude that wanted the power of the sun in his hands. He's got a bunch of tentacles, like octopus arms, mechanical, and they kind of tussle around. Octavius thinks he's going to meet the Peter Parker he knows, and sees it's not the same dude. The Peter Parker now has nanotechnology, so he just kind of like literally like overrides the tentacles of Dr. Octavius, and so he kind of controls them quickly. A quick little skirmish, but Peter Parker, the modern one, is able to calm down or like take over Octavius's arms rather quickly. And so he saves the MIT admissions counselor, and she's like, I'm gonna go talk to the admissions team about you and your friends. That's kind of end there. Peter Parker goes back to Doctor Strange and's like, what's going on? Where are these people coming from? Tells him about how the broken spell like opened up the multiverse again, and now they have to find and capture just any villains that have leaked over into the universe. And so they got Octavius. They've been introduced to Green Goblin again. There's like 4 other like villains. You have, I've not seen whenever Spider-Man was not the original dude and not the newest dude. Whoever played the guy, Mark Zuckerberg's friend in The Social Network, whoever that guy was, not Gyllenhaal. Where's he at? I don't know. Why is it so hard to find these stupid people on here? I don't know the guy's name. But there's one Spider-Man that I've not seen, so I did not know the lizard dude villain, nor did I know the sand dude villain, nor did I know the Jamie Foxx character, the big electrical guy. So that's one of them I've not seen. But he's like, we have to start rounding up these people and put them. Doctor Strange has like this magical cell thing where he can just put these individuals in like a prison type of thing. But they also have how do they round up? Again, Peter Parker's out in the woods somewhere, trying to track these down, sees this big sand dude and the electrical dude, Jamie Foxx, and the sand guy battling it out. The sand guy helps Peter Parker capture or take down the electrical guy played by Jamie Foxx, and then Peter Parker, he has this like wrist thing that he can shoot at the guys to send them into the cell at Doctor Strange's place. So they capture all of them. And at this point, the Green Goblin's playing like he's just I forget his other name in the thing, but he's acting like he's not a bad guy anymore. And then they round them all up. They've got the take back spell. Doctor Strange has cooked up the spell. It's ready to hit the button, send them back to their universes. And Peter Parker has this moral dilemma saying, if we send you back to your universes and you've died before, well then we're going to be responsible for killing you now. And so he takes the box, the cube, the undoing spell away from Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange and Peter fight it out a little bit in a I don't know, some other dimension, a mirror dimension now. And somehow again Peter gets the thing. There's a scene about geometry. Oh, it's just geometry. Again, I'm really struggling with geometry myself. And Peter gets the cube and basically keeps Doctor Strange trapped over the Grand Canyon for like 12 hours. And now Peter, MJ, and Ned, they're going to try to fix all of the villains again. Marvel Universe, the Jamie Foxx guy fell into a thing of eels. Peter Parker got bit by a spider, so he's going to try to fix whatever causes their superpowers and their evilness. So during that same skirmish, Peter Parker got like the magical portal opening thing from Doctor Strange, and he gives it to Ned. Ned casts some spells here later in the movie. But they round up all of the people, and then Peter Parker has like something from Stark Corporation just to get into like some sort of analytics diagnostic thing to fix their problems. He creates this chip for Dr. Octavius, puts it on him. He gets fixed correctly, and then the Green Goblin goes, basically I forget what again. He was the rich guy in the original Spider-Man, and I'm pretty sure the second Peter Parker was the original Peter Parker's best friend. Again, whoever the guy is from Social Network. But then they all have a big fight. Green Goblin is fighting with the original Peter Parker, the Tom Holland character. And then said Octavius gets fixed. All of the other, the Sand Dude, the Lizard Dude, the Green Goblin, and I think that might be it. But they all escape out into the world. Doctor Strange is still suspended. During the fight, Green Goblin, has his little explodey ball things, and there's a big fight, about to kill Peter, and then Aunt May is running down the stairs, coming over, jabs the Green Goblin in the neck with something. Not really sure what happens there, and then he throws one of his green balls, blows up the building, flies away, and you have Peter holding Aunt May as she dies, and she's the original one, right? Uncle Ben dies. They reflect on the statement, with great power comes great responsibility. That's physically backwards. The ability to respond is a reaction. The more responsibility you have physically gives you more power. So I've referenced that in my proofing quite a bit, but that's where this statement comes from. But what else do they say in this movie? They also say blip. They also say blipping, and they say, what does Peter Parker have? That tingly thing. And we just covered that like 2 days ago, so that's pretty cool. When good science theory predicts things. But Aunt May dies, Peter's all upset, and then they're trying to the MJ and Ned, after this big explosion, they want to figure out where Peter Parker's at. So again, he has got the Doctor Strange portal thing, and it says, "Show me Peter," and then you get the second Peter, the Social Network guy, and he says, "Show me Peter again," and then just some regular dude with that they don't recognize as a Spider-Man comes through, and it's the original Tobey Maguire character. And so now you have 3 Spider-Mans. And there's a bunch of scenes again of them like all being confused about who's Peter or who's 1 or 2. They're at Ned's house, Ned's mom. A couple funny scenes, some light humor. But then they're going to try to lure all of these bad guys that are out there back and fix them. And that's like the big moral dilemma of this one is, Peter wanted to help his friend to get into MIT. Now we have a multiverse opening up, and so he's kind of like just got Aunt May killed, kind of, and they're gonna fix these other guys. So they cook up all of the solutions they need to fix the other characters. They go to the Statue of Liberty, and they're just kind of sitting there waiting for people to come back or show up or whatever. They show up. All 3 of them, the Peter Parkers, at first they can't get They can't fix the people because they can't work together, and they all work together. Again, they have before that there's a commiseration scene where all the Peter Parkers are like, yeah, we all lost people too, in the same exact type of way. But they are able to successfully fix the Sand Dude, the Lizard Dude, and do they fix the Green Goblin here? No, they don't fix the Green Goblin. I think they end up killing him. But they for sure fix the Sand Dude. They fix the Lizard Dude. They fix the Jamie Foxx character, and then Peter Parker's like the Green Goblin's the last one to show up. He's like, no, I want to kill you myself. He goes to like smash the glide board down that the Green Goblin has with a spike on it to kill him. The Tobey Maguire Peter Parker steps in and stops the Tom Holland Peter Parker. Green Goblin stabs Tobey Maguire Peter Parker in the back. He ends up living, but then Octavius is able to. Octavius fixes Jamie Foxx. But remember, Octavius is already fixed, so he's kind of fighting with the Peter Parkers. But I don't think they kill the Green Goblin. I think they just they fix him as well. Yeah, they do. And then it goes on from there. So after they fix everybody, Doctor Strange is above the Eiffel Tower, and again, there's big purple cracks in the universe. Every entity is now seeping into the universe because they opened it up. And Tom Holland, Peter Parker's like, because originally the reason this started is because he wanted some people to forget who he was, but not everybody. And now he wants everyone to forget who he was, because that will stop the other entities entering their universe. So that, you know, I love you scene with MJ, he does a secret handshake with Ned, and casts a spell, and then they send everyone back with the box hit thing, and nobody remembers who Peter Parker is. And then you see MJ and Ned, and again, the very beginning scenes when they were talking about getting into MIT, they're at the bakery or the small coffee shop that MJ works at. And you see MJ and Ned kind of still being friends, still knowing each other. And I think both of them got into MIT. And then Peter comes in, and you know they clearly don't remember him. He finishes her sentence. She says, "If you're always expecting disappointment, you can't be disappointed." He kind of finishes that one. They have a little recollection, but she doesn't remember who she is or who he is, just like the spell was supposed to do. And so he moves into a one-bedroom apartment, and he continues being Spider-Man. And so that's really kind of the end of the movie. Again, it was 2.5 hours runtime. Obviously a Marvel superhero movie. I don't know, I'll give it a C. Didn't really do much for me. I like the 2019 one a lot better. You know, a lot of superhero movies to me in general can go a lot of ways. The thing that always throws me is this multiverse shit. Every single time, just like Avengers Endgame, or might have been Infinity War, when the Hulk is, you know, building this machine to send him back in time. The Hulk even has some scene where it's like, we're not actually sending him back in time, we're just compressing time. Again, it's like the writer's awareness of physics. But multiverse nonsense, parallel universes nonsense, mirror dimensions nonsense. And that doesn't actually throw me, it's just the consistency of the plot. Remember, the thing I hate most is insecurity and characterization. If Peter Parker wasn't a bitch, he just would have murked all the other fucking villains. He probably wouldn't, you know, have asked like all of this to get into MIT. Like, come on. So there was some humorous scenes, but it really didn't do much for me. I liked the original Spider-Man way better. I really liked that one. I recommend that one. Superhero movies that I did like I said, I've reviewed a couple, but I liked Thor Ragnarok. I thought that was a very fun one. And humor in like adventure movies like this, I like. Like if you were going to have like a bank robbing video about just human beings, I don't like nicky-nacky one-line humors. I think adventures, I think it fits the genre pretty well because, you know, if you're going one day to go to school and the next day you're like in a superhero thing, it'd be a pretty comical, like, wow. Like, so I think it's a good place for jokes. But even, like I said, I like the 2019 one better. Just, you know, undercover superhero, fighting some bad guys, meet the cute girl. Always like, even it's cheesy, redone 1,000 times. I like cute romance stories. So I thought that the other one was better. But again, really the physics for me in this, the insecurity for me in this. Like I said, I can get over the physics, but if it's just too inconsistent, it's just nonsense. And again, it's basically the plot of every Marvel movie at this point. The multiverse, and it's not fucking real. And so, as a physicist who proved that shit wrong, or just completely nonsense, you just, again, stagnated society. I'm gonna go watch a movie. We're still talking broken physics. Awesome. Sweet. Sick. Nice. But, major themes, again, nothing really to talk about. Superhero movies. The thing I do like about superhero movies is if they're consistent, you can still see, like, you know, which power would be good against this power, or how would this interact, and those things can be very interesting to me. I liked, what other ones? How about I Am Number 4? Is another like superhero movie, little love story type of deal. Not a Marvel movie. Again, like I said, those are probably my, like I did like Thor Ragnarok was probably my favorite Marvel thing I've seen in a while. So that's really kind of and also at the very end, it's like they forget who he is, but he's still Spider-Man. So it's like MJ still has like the cut on her eye from the fights. So it's like, why would you not just be able to prove that he's Spider-Man again in like 5 seconds? So that the plot to me was just rather weak, even all things considered for a superhero movie. I'm sure I'll get some flack for this. I just checked the ratings, and this one got a lot of really high ratings. But superhero movies, like I said, not really my favorite genre. I can certainly enjoy them, give them good grades. This one did not do much for me. So again, my grading, anything above a D or anything above an F is recommendation, D is off-putting, C is whatever, B is entertaining, and A is extremely well done or extremely novel or both. So I just give this one a flat C. So I still hope you go watch it if this is your thing, and thank you for watching my review of Spider-Man: No Way Home.